want to ask you about the other big theme here, which is like stakeholder capitalism and governance and the role of all of these things. And I'm curious where you think the role of banks should be in all of this, which is to say, do you have a greater responsibility to actually use your own influence to put pressure on companies to make changes?
So, look, I think this topic of stakeholder, I think it's an interesting topic broadly. I don't think we have a greater responsibility. I think we all have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility in the context of our platforms and our businesses to serve our stakeholders well. Our first priority is to serve our shareholders and to drive long-term returns for our shareholders. But I'm a big believer that unless you take care of your stakeholders more broadly, in the medium and long term, you won't deliver outstanding returns. So I think it's very, very important. We think a lot about, our platforms and things we do, and we try to contribute in ways that we think improve market structure and the capital markets broadly. And in fact, I mentioned something that we've been thinking about that we're going to roll out here publicly, which speaks to our, kind of using our platform and our position. I think from a governance perspective, diversity on boards is a very, very important issue. And we've been very, very focused on it. And so we're trying to find ways to encourage that. And I come from a position of my own experience where I look at the Goldman Sachs board. We have 4 women out of 11. We have a black lead director. And I really value the diverse perspectives, I'm getting, which are helping me run the company. I look back at IPOs over the last 4 years, and the performance of IPOs where there's been a woman on the board in the U.S. is significantly better than the performance of IPOs where there hasn't been a woman on the board. And so starting on July 1st in the U.S. and Europe, we're not going to take a company public unless there's at least one diverse board candidate with a focus on women. And we're going to move toward 2021 requesting 2. And we realize that this is a small step, but it's a step in a direction of saying, we think this is right. We think it's the right advice. And we're in a position also because of our network to help our clients if they need help placing women on boards. And so this is an example of our saying, how can we do something that we think, is right and help move the market forward?
That's a big move. And that's a breaking piece of news right here.
Is that what you were talking about last night when you said you would tell us one thing we didn't know?
Well, actually, you said to me, will you tell us one thing we didn't know? And I said, okay, I'll tell you something that you don't know. So I hadn't been planning on it, but when you prompted that last night, it sounded like a good thing to
let me ask
you,
forward. Let me ask you, when you said you're going to move towards requesting.
No, we're going to start. When you look at this, there's a process to something like this. So July 1st, 1, in 2021, 2, and we're going to start the dialogue with our clients. And look, we might miss some business, but in the long run, this, I think, is the best advice for companies that want to drive premium returns for their shareholders over time.